A good Erev Shabbos, getting ready for another beautiful Shabbos, right before Hanukkah. This week's Torah portion is the portion of Vayishlach. And one of the most enigmatic parts of the portion, Jacob is alone at the Yabok River. In the middle of the night, he had crossed his family, and now he went back to get a few things, and he's there in the middle of the night. And the verse says, Vayivaser Yaakov levado. Jacob was left alone. Vayeovek ish imo. And someone wrestled with him ad alot hashachar, till the rise of dawn. And then, after he injured him, and Jacob is limping on his hip, the angel says, I gotta go. And Jacob is wrestling with him. And Jacob says, I'm not going to let you go. Ki'im beirachtani, until you bless me. And then, of course, he says, your name won't be Jacob anymore. Your name will now be Israel. And there's many questions on this. And remarkably, Rashi says that who was this person that wrestled with him was the angel of Esau. Everyone has an archangel up in heaven, and this was Esau's. But the question, on a very simple and basic, is it says Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him. If he was alone, who was he wrestling with? What's going on? And I saw this very daring and beautiful commentary that says like this. Jacob was left alone, and he wrestled with a person. The person he wrestled with was none other than Jacob himself. You see, for Jacob's whole life, Jacob was trying to be something he wasn't. He had an identity crisis. From the moment he was born holding on to Esau's heel. He wanted to be Esau. He wanted to be first. Then he takes Esau's birthright. He dons Esau's clothing. In fact, his name is Yaakov, which, as Esav alone attests to, what does it mean? His name is Yaakov. He tried to take away from me twice. Jacob was living an identity crisis. He was trying to be something he wasn't. And finally, the moment came when Jacob wrestled with himself. Jacob was realizing, what's going on here? Am I going to constantly try to be something that I'm not? Am I going to start live and be someone who I'm not? It's at that moment that Jacob realizes that the only person he could be, and he has to be, is Yaakov, is himself. And that's when his name is changed to Yisrael. Because what does Yisrael mean? Yisrael means Li Rosh. I am a leader. I am a head. Instead of looking back by Yaakveni, trying to be someone else, it's Yisrael, Li Rosh. I look forward. I'm comfortable in my own skin with who I am, with what God wanted me to be. Isn't that the story of all of us, especially as Jews? How often are we not comfortable in our own skin as Jewish people, as people that follow Torah, mitzvahs, the commandments, the love, the laws that God has given us? We're trying to be someone else. We're trying to don Esau's clothing. We're trying to be like the next person. But the truth is that the only time we find peace and happiness in who we are is if we know and we're comfortable in our own skin and being the person that we have to be. The same is, of course, true with Israel. How long are we constantly trying to impress others? The United States, the European Union, the UN. What is this one going to say? What is that one going to say? But as Jews and as Israelis, in the time of the most anti-Semitism we've ever experienced, we have to be comfortable in who we are. We have to be comfortable in what we represent. Jacob was left alone with his own self. He wrestled with that split personality and realizing that the best and most productive Jacob would be trying to be Jacob. And that's why he changed his name to Israel. Shabbat Shalom.